What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. Oh my goodness, what a time it has been. So sorry, I've seen you guys on here on the live chat. Sorry for going so early. I just had to get some things set up here and make sure that it's streaming because, again, more problems. I'll tell you about all that after. First of all, let's just jump right into the chat. Say hello to everyone. So, Southern, I said hi to you earlier. James, how you doing? Hi, William. Nathan, welcome, my friend. Hey, Dave, BNSFF. Leisure Line, hi. Hey, Wilmer. And Schohill, I think that's how you say it. That's John, right? Steve, how you doing? Hi, Nancy. Good to see you, Nancy. All right, yeah, that's right, James. We've got a green light tonight. Oh, man, what a story. So I'll just jump back over here with you guys. Yeah, crazy story. So last week, I'm about to go on and yeah, I'm about to go on. I normally go on about 10 minutes, let everything, settle out, get the title screen up, and won't go online. I've got everything going just like I normally do. Now, the problem was, well, I thought the problem was we had a power outage earlier that day. Mel was home working from home and the computers went out. So I thought that buggered my system somehow. So it freaked me right out. So as you can tell, I'm there freaking out, trying to get it going. It's not going. Totally thinking it's something on my end. So the only thing I could do is go on and say, guys, sorry, I have to cancel it. This and that. It was really unfortunate. So spent hey, Dave, Crooked River and Eastern's here. So I spent pretty well a few hours that night trying to figure out what I did wrong. What did I do? Oh my goodness, this is horrible. Wasn't until later on. Now, I really appreciated everybody's comments on that win video saying, don't worry, Ben, a lot of people are having problems, which I knew, but I'm totally thinking it's an OBS issue. So later on, I go into Pusa Studios. Now, Pusa, I believe he's out of Montreal, but he was he is a model railroader originally, but he's got a different style channel now, and I know Sparky follows him, and Ron Toyman, and SMT Mainline. So it came up on my live stream, so I popped on there real quick, and he was losing his mind. He was so mad. And what happened was YouTube's server just crashed that night. So it was really unfortunate. All the live streams had a lot of problems that night, and he was just losing his mind. So apparently this has been going on for a while now, and I guess the president of YouTube came out and tried to smooth everything over and say what's going on. So it's a long story, but it was good to know. The only thing I wish, I wish there was a way to know what's happening. Like if I knew that, I ended up going and updating OBS and doing all kinds of things with my computer. Turned out there was nothing wrong on this end. And from doing that, it screwed up the live stream tonight. I had to change my stream key last minute and change a bunch of things. So it's kind of crazy. So yeah, like I said on the mail call shoutouts and updates video, I was saying I'm not going to be doing those fluff videos anymore, those filler videos. I'm going to really try not to do that. And there's a big reason for that. The main thing is, as you guys know, pretty well all of us on here are YouTube creators. So I think it's very important for everybody to know, if you don't already know, I'm sure you do, that retention and views and click-through rate and all that, it's really important. Now, I'm new to it. I'm still learning about it. But when I put out those videos, the obvious reaction to everybody is going to be, oh, it's announcement for On Track Tuesday. I know that's coming on, right? So I can skip it, or I don't need to watch the full thing. These things are really bad for the channel. So I'm not doing those anymore. So that's why exactly right here, I've got this new commercial thing here to show you guys the schedule of everybody. Hey, Nora. Welcome, buddy. Good to have you in here. Yeah, just so everybody can see the schedule, because I really don't want to do those anymore unless it's an emergency or something comes up. I'm really going to try to shy away from those. So any updates are going to be on mail call, shoutouts, and the updates videos. So, with that being said, I just wanted to do a couple shout outs here. So first of all, I wanted to say congratulations to all the winners of Nancy Jones's contest for the raffle. But something I was thinking, so I was watching that video and, you know, the money going out, and what I was going to do is promote it again last week, so I still had this in here, so I thought this would work fine. I noticed there wasn't really a lot of people that got involved in that raffle, only about 30 people. With all those channels involved, you'd think there'd be a lot more. So I thought I'm going to throw this up again for Nancy, because Nancy, I'm sure, still could use help. You know, think about it. Like, Nancy has, you know, like 1,000 subscribers. If each person just gave $1, it'd be $1,000 for her to help her out. You know what I mean? So there it is there again. That's her PayPal account. It's still live. And I know this because I'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, that's her thing. So go on over there and help Nancy out, you know, because she's had the surgery. She's off work. She could, I'm sure, use the help. Other shout out I want to give is Nathan DeLay. I know I've already said it, but Nathan has hit 500 subscribers. So congratulations, Nathan. I see you on here. I'm so happy for you, man. With that, Nathan is doing a contest, and it's really cool. What he is doing is the winner is going to get a building 3D printed for them with their name on it. If you watched his video with DJ's Trains, kind of like that. So go on over to his channel. He put a video up today as a reminder, and then the link's on there to the video that explains it. I think you just got to tell him that you enter on that video and you're in. And then he's going to do that Thursday night live, I believe, at 7 p.m. So not tomorrow, the next night. So yeah, go on over and check out Nathan. So what are you saying, Nora? So want to donate to Nancy Jones? Thanks, Nora. So Nora's put up the PayPal link for Nancy there. And who else? We got Jake in here. Nice. Randy, you made it in. Hi, Mike. Thanks for coming in, Mike. I totally, you know what? You came into one of my other streams, and I totally knew who you were because I've watched you for a long time, and there's so many things were going on. I didn't even really say hi and acknowledge that it was actually you. So yeah, everybody, Mike Pfeiffer. That's pretty cool that he's on here. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. So I think that's it. So, you know, the last show, to me, I wasn't really too happy with it. It was I watched the replay, and Sparky was kind of joking because I saw on there. Sparky said he was going to come over here and mess up all my waybills. So if Sparky sees this, or if he sees the replay, I'll tell you, Sparky, that's a good thing about this system. The waybills that I was talking about on the last show is that it's not the end of the world if that happens, because you're kind of free to do whatever you want. You can just grab the waybills, find the cars that go with them, and move them back to where they need to go, or just move them how you would with a train. And that was something that was funny with the program Ship It. If you guys remember me talking about that at the Scarborough Model Railroaders, Ship It was funny because once in a while it would do a funny thing and cars would get stuck. The computer would just leave them, and that was the problem. You couldn't play with the railroad at all. You had to leave the cars where the last move was, or it screwed everything up. And when you had a big railroad like that with, you know, several hundred cars, it could really mess things up. And I remember, like, it happened once or twice a year. We would have to go through and basically do a purge and restart everything. So yeah, it's a downfall of the computerized switching software. So something, you know what, we'll talk about personal stuff after. That's what we'll do. We'll do the show. Once again, guys, I want to talk about just Trevor Marshall again. because that's where a lot of my ideas came from. And especially with this tonight, we're doing, you know, prototype tools, and I maybe should have done a better name. I couldn't think of a good name for it for what I'm talking about, but we're just talking about, you know, things in the office, things of how you use the waybill, stuff like that. So yeah, first thing I would like to do is I'm gonna bring you over and I'm going to show you Trevor's railroad. So just give me 1 second here. You're gonna get an idea here of what I'm talking about. So like I said, this is him right here, Trevor Marshall. That's his YouTube channel. You gotta go check it out. This is a little taste. So this is S scale, and this is kind of what I'm going for. So what did you guys think of that? Pretty crazy, isn't it? So yeah, that's Trevor Marshall there. So that is S scale. And you can see he's been a big inspiration to me for sure, because whenever I'm on, you know, years ago when I was, you know, Googling CNR and stuff, he would come up all the time more with his blog, and that's where I got a lot of these ideas from. And now I realize to a lot of people, some of this stuff's gonna seem really weird, but when you do it for a while, it starts to make sense, and it actually kind of all falls together. So John 2618, it's good to see you on here. I was thinking of you actually because you commented on my video from the other night. This stuff would be perfect for your railroad. This style of operations, what we're going to talk about here. So one thing that Trevor does, another thing that's pretty cool, is he has a working switch stand. So what he's taken is a Garden Railroad switch stand, mounted it on the fascia, and the crew, what they have to do is go and unlock that switch stand and actually turn it, and it actually, you know, throws the switch and throws the target and everything. It's pretty awesome to see. I believe that's on the Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine's website, or on their YouTube channel, I believe. So yeah, you got to go check that out. Another thing he does, I don't know how he did it. I think it was G-scale again, but he took brake lines. And what you have to do is once you set a car or pick a car up, you have to actually physically click the brake lines together on the fascia, which is pretty cool. And he also has a brake wheel on there. So what you have to do is hook up the brake lines or disconnect them, and then you have to turn the brake wheel to simulate doing that. Now, Ron Piskel showed me an app. I should have put it on here. It's an app you can get on your phone now, And because you know how I like using cell phones and stuff now for running the railroad, there's an app that simulates this stuff too. So you program in what you want to do. You want to do a brake test. You want to do, you know, anything. It's got a number of things to do, and you hit it and it times it out, and it's a pretty cool idea. So let's just go back into chat here. So John, you're saying nice scenery. Yeah, it is. It's really nice, and he's really especially there's a scene in I believe it's Port Rowan that he does, and with a turntable, and man, he's just captured Southern Ontario perfectly. It's just absolutely incredible. Hey Vinny, how you doing? So there's Vinny on there, guys. So Vinny, I was hoping, are you back home now? It's good to see you on here. As you guys know, Vinny canceled his live stream last Friday because he was having trouble breathing, and then he was in the hospital. Oh no. Well, I hope you're feeling better, man. I know everybody's been thinking of you. I saw lots of the messages and comments. So it's nice to see you on here, Vinny. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it when you're not feeling well. So anyways, some pretty neat stuff. John 2618, another thing for you, because you know, like I don't know if you've seen it, my last layout was a switching layout just like yours, but the same size. That I used ShipIt, which is that software, and it worked really well for that. And I think ShipIt would be a good choice for you if you didn't want to do this Waybill idea. Something to look into. Also, JMRI has a version of it too. I've never used it, but it's very simple, or very similar. It puts out switch lists, and you basically use the switch lists, and it's random. So yeah, I haven't tried it, and I said it's simple. I didn't mean to say that because I find JMRI a little quirky and a little strange sometimes, but yeah, it's free at least. Whereas ShipIt, I think it's $90. You email transfer him $90 or PayPal him $90, and he sends you the link. So something else I wanted to show you guys. So I had the, I just got to find it here over on my other screen. So we're talking about prototype tools and everything. So I'm just going to show you guys this picture right here. And I'm sorry if anybody comes on here and they're the photographer of this or own the copyright. I've just found this online and couldn't find the copyright information. But what I want to draw attention to here, guys, is right here. I hope you can see that. Right there, you've got a little box. Now, you're probably thinking that's a post office box. Well, it's actually not. Right here, I believe that's the post box right there. But right here, this is called a Waybill box. And this was also something, obviously, that I learned from Trevor Marshall. You can model the Waybill box. So that's a big part of my operations. That what we were talking about on the last show is what happens with the Waybills when you're done with them, when you're done doing your work. So in real life, what happened, especially in a little station like that in Tara, Ontario at that time, the agent wouldn't always be on duty. He could, you know, sometimes there wasn't even an agent there. The agent would just check in. The agent was really responsible for the business side of the railroad, if you look at it that way. The Waybill was how the railroad got paid. So when the car was delivered with that load, the conductor would bring this to the agent, and then the agent was responsible for doing the billing, however that worked. Remember, we forget a lot of the time that a railroad is a shipping company. That's what it is. So try to think of it just like how a trucking company works. They get paid to ship a load, and that's exactly what the railroad does, and that's exactly what this represents. So let's say the agent isn't there, or the agent is busy. What would be there is the Waybill box. So what I've done is I've made a model of this. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, I think I did put this on Instagram. I can't remember if I put it on Facebook, but here it is. Very simple, just made out of pine, very rough, made it very quick, just pin nailed it. Simple hinges. There's a lock on the bottom. Now I'm going to change this so I can put on a bigger lock. So it opens up. Now, there's a few different designs. I saw a CNR one like this a while back online, but I couldn't find the picture, so I just kind of did it by memory. But there's different styles. Some, the top opens like this, and you put the waybill and it locks here. Some have a slot in the top. But from the pictures I could see in my books, it didn't have it in the top because obviously like rain could get there and everything, right? So Trevor Marshall, of course, I got this idea from him. His is a little different. I think his opens the top and it goes in, and then their paper was getting stuck, so he made a fancy, he's a really tedious guy, made this kicker thing in the bottom to kick the papers out. But this is just kind of works just like a mailbox. So this will be on the wall right by, so basically if you can imagine it, the Owen Sound section is a long hallway, and the waybill box, it will be behind you. So when the crew is done, now this is kind of hard to do with one hand. This will be on the wall. When the crew is done, they simply just take the waybill. Of course, with you guys, oh, we got it. They'll just take the waybills and stick them on in there. So they stay in there. Now, what happens is, we were talking about the agent, and you're probably wondering, what's this agent business? What is all this? The agent's basically the yard master. He's going to be in charge of the steam engines, like hostling them. You know, like he won't hostle them himself, but he'll help the people, the crews hostle them. So somebody asked there, Michael, you're asking, was this a CNR specific practice to use waybill boxes? Yes, absolutely it was, Michael. I've got all kinds of pictures, and it's really cool. I never knew about this until I saw this on Trevor's blog, and now it's pretty cool. When I go through and look at all my photographs, you can see the waybill box there. And I did have a picture of one, I lost it, but it did look a lot like this. And the funniest thing is, the hardest part about building this was this here. Making the stencil. All I did, I went on Microsoft Word, used the stencil font, printed it, and then cut it out with an X-Acto knife. That was the most tedious, most difficult part of the entire project. But it turned out, it's exactly how I wanted it. Kind of rough. I'm going to weather it up a bit too. But that's, see how it kind of got messy there. That's exactly what I wanted. And I just got to build one more for the other section. And the other section is actually 2 towns and another really small siding. But there's so... Oh, see ya, Mike. Take care, man. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, Sparky. Sparky just came in here. Nice to see you, Sparky. And I was saying earlier, Sparky, I saw your comment on my last show about messing up my waybills. So, yeah, not cool, man. But I was telling everybody, it doesn't matter with the system because they can just be sorted out. It's not like a computer system where it screws everything up. So anyways, where were we? So what will happen is the town, the other section, I think I'll just have one waybill box over there because those towns are smaller. And I think what will happen is they can put all the waybills in there and it could just act all together. Because what will happen is, the agent will have, let's say he knows that the way freight for, let's say going out of Owen Sound, the southbound way freight has to leave, say, at 11 a.m. So what he's going to do, he's going to take that random number generator that I've shown you guys before on the cell phone. He's going to go boo, 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 and find out the size of the train, probably between 1 and 10, something like that. Let's say the generator says 5. He's going to come over to the waybill box, unlock it, reach in here, grab a handful of waybills, and randomly grab 5. Those 5 waybills are the ones that are going to go on that train. And like I said, the waybills say where the car is, where it's going, what it's carrying, and he has freedom. Like, he can do whatever he wants, because like I said, there's 4 moves on the waybills, so he can change it up however he likes. So let's just take a break for 1 sec, go back in the chat. All right, did I miss anybody? So we got Dwight in here now. Dwight, were you here all along? And Jerry's in here. I don't think I said hi to you, Jerry. How are you? And Redbird Tony's in. So something I forgot to mention, guys. Redbird Tony, he's going in after at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go make sure you go on over for his version of On Track Tuesday. So yeah, like I said, what happened last week, I was supposed to be filling in for Tony, which was no problem because I was just doing this show. It's a simple theme or simple subject. But yeah, I got screwed up. We'll talk about that a little bit later because I have some more opinions that I kind of forgot to tell you guys about. All right, let's go back on over here. Back to the main screen. Hey Jerry. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I hope that's starting to make sense with this agent's job, because I remember when I was on the YouTube Model Builder show, Bill was surprised at how many people could run this railroad, and the reason for it is I'm thinking about 6 people would be perfect, and the reason for that, and he was surprised at that because it's not a big railroad. It's a decent size. I'd say it's a medium size. But the reason for that is because there's jobs to do. So you have an Owen Sound agent, which I think will double as the Palmerston agent, and then sorry, Nathan, I was just reading your question. I'll answer that in 1 sec. He'll double as the Palmerston agent because that's just building trains and staging and sending them out. But then you'll have the crews. The crews are of 2 people. So 4 people would run 2 trains, right? So that's 5 people right there. And then you have the dispatcher. Then you could add more people, because I would like, if it was possible, to have an agent over in the other section where the other towns are, Shallow Lake, and the other town, which I'm changing, which is going to be a subject of an upcoming show. I've changed it. It's not a huge deal, but it's just something I've decided to change at the last minute, and it's the first thing that's going in. But yeah, there's 3 little towns there, so the agent could run that as well. So Nathan, you asked me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is your scratch-built locomotive completed? Well, Nathan, if you go on my Instagram, because you follow me on there, there's a picture of it. And I think you'll be pretty surprised. It's got its first coat of primer. And it's actually turning out fantastic. I'm really happy with it. I should have brought it up to show you guys tonight. Maybe on the next show I'll show you guys. I haven't had time because I'm really busy working on the basement. But yeah, Nathan, I would say the only thing is I'm probably gonna have to scratch build a tender for it, which will take a bit of time. But the locomotive itself, I'd say about a 7. Yeah, I'd say about a 7. Because I got to do a little bit of filling. I got a few more details to put on the other side. I got to put on the grab iron, a couple more grab irons on the cab, and then it's pretty well ready for paint. So yeah, it's getting pretty close, and it's looking awesome. I'm really happy with it. So that's going to be a really cool series when that comes out. So what I'm doing that first one, it's CNR 1530, and then I'm going to do 1525 as a little mini series, which should be pretty cool. So we're going to get back to it, what we were talking about. I believe we were just talking about the agent and everything, and I was showing you on the last show. I don't know what I did with it, but I had the paperwork that would basically the orders and everything, right? So since we're talking about tools, so that's what I mean. It's kind of a tool, not really, but it is life-size, the Waybill box. Hey, Chris, Go Veer, Go Home is here, and Dwayne's here. We got nice. So Mel and Millie and I, we were up in Orono, Ontario, and it's a really cool place for antique stores. So, like I've told you guys before, I need a way to talk between the agents and the dispatcher, and the conductor's gonna need a way to call as well. So what I'm doing is telephones. So when we were at the antique store, I picked up this. She's a nice oldie, and what I really love about it is it's the original dial phone, and it's pretty cool. I don't know what year it is. It says patent 1954, 55, and 60, I believe is what it is. So it's probably from the 60s, but you watch videos about phones. This is what would have been used in the late 50s in my area. Jerry, that's funny. It's funny. I'm old enough that we had a rotary phone when I was a kid, and then it was the buttons, and now, yeah. It is an antique, and know what's cool? I'm just talking to you there, Dave. It is an antique, and it works. So I got them to test it. They called my cell phone, I called my cell phone on it. It rings. Totally awesome. So basically, this will be the agent's phone. What I'm using is a PBX system. I found it on Amazon, so I hope it'll work with a rotary phone. Apparently it will, but if it doesn't, that can get complicated and get a little bit expensive, because then you have to put adapters on these things. I can't remember what they're called, but hopefully I don't have to do that. But anyways, it'll probably just be a 3-digit number you call to call the dispatcher. Hello, dispatch. Yeah, it'll be pretty awesome. So you'll call it, dispatcher will answer, and now here's the other cool thing. Now, this is a remake, but this is an antique of an antique, basically. So this, we believe, was probably, it's a replica, but it's from the 70s, I'm thinking. And what I really liked about this is that it also has the dial, or the rotary dial. Because originally I was looking at replicas, and there's a company called Crosley that I'm sure you guys have heard of. They're on Amazon. But a replica was $80, and it was push button. So it wasn't as cool. I like the rotary, right? So what I'm doing, I'm looking on eBay, I'm finding the scissor attachment for this. So what will happen is when I'm at my desk, this will pull out, and so you'll have your hands free. You can have this dispatch here. Yeah, you want clearance? Okay, clearance. And they're going to say, yeah, we're looking for, we want to fill out a clearance form to go from, Palmerston to Owen Sound, blah, blah, say the train, what it is. And then I've showed you guys some of the paperwork, and we'll explain that more later on. I'll probably do that more on uploads though, because as we found out from the last show, the paperwork doesn't turn out very nice on the webcam. But anyways, pretty cool. So something else to know, guys, just a little promo. Antique stores. I got both of these, I think they're $70 together. The candlestick phone was like 20 or $30 compared to, like, on eBay, the replicas start at 80. And I got a really good deal on this. This was $40. Whereas you go on eBay, these are, normally about 80 as well. So yeah, pretty good deal. So I will be buying a few more of those. Okay. So Vinny, you asked, what brand of mic is this? This is an Apex. It's an older microphone. This is a studio microphone because I used to, well, I shouldn't say used to be, but I used to be a musician and recorded music. And that's what this was for. So I had it laying around, not doing anything with it because I don't really have time for music anymore. I'm like, yeah, I'll just use that instead of buying a streaming mic. So that's all it is. Oh, does it sound okay, Vinny? John's saying it does look like USB, probably XLR, and that's right. So what it is, it's an XLR, so it's a standard XLR cord, and that goes into a preamp that came with this microphone. And then that goes into a USB interface that goes into the computer. So, oh, thanks, John. It sounds okay. Okay, Vinny. Well, take care. Thanks so much, Vinny, for coming on here. I can't believe you came on here. I really appreciate it, man. Take care. So, anyways, yeah, that's the story of the mic. Now, that's pretty. It's kind of a budget-friendly studio microphone, but still pretty expensive for doing this. Like, I've looked on Amazon. I might change because it's big, it's heavy, it's got a big stand. So when I move down to the basement, I'm probably going to just get something on Amazon, because you can get decent mics on Amazon for pretty cheap. And they come with the preamp and everything. And I already have the interface, so. Hey, there's Anthony. Hi, everyone. Is Ernie Banks World say, let's play two streams for the price of one? No, yep, that's right. Because Tony's coming on after. Keys are small. Dave saying keys are small on your phone. Do you mean the dials? Like these? If that's what you're talking about, they're standard. Like, they're the same as, like I said, that's a replica, and this one's 100% real. Like, this is Northern Electric. So you see? This is 100% genuine, and the holes on that one are bigger on this one, so I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but yeah, it's really well done. Maybe it's just been so long, Dave, that you remember them being bigger than what they were. It's funny, Mel and I, we were in Stratford on the weekend. Hey, gotta go for a bit. I'll catch you all in Tony's stream. Thanks for a great show. Thanks, Dave. We'll see you later, man. I'll see you on Tony's. We were in Stratford, and that's where, when Mel's grandparents left Parry Sound, they ended up moving to Stratford, and so that's where I hung out with him a lot. And that's the grandfather we were talking about on previous shows that worked for CNR and CP. It was just funny how small everything seemed. Like, the street seemed smaller, the house seemed smaller. Yeah, it was weird. Oh, Dave's fingers were small. Could be. That's funny. Yeah, they're standard phone. Like, especially this one right here. Like, it's 100% real deal. And I couldn't believe it still worked for the price of it too. Working phone, like, normally they're rebuilt and you got to pay quite a bit of money for them. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So speaking of phones and phone lines, so now you guys kind of understand why the basement's taking a while. All this stuff's it's done now. So now I'll tell you guys now, I'm actually in good shape in the basement. I'm done taping the main area. I'm on my second coat now. I'll actually probably do another second coat tonight. I'm trying to get it so I could paint this weekend, because I'm going away. I'm going to be working out of town for the next few weeks. I'll only be home on the weekends. So yeah, I'm hoping I'll be painting the main part. So still, I got to film the first video of the OSCNR. It's going to be basically about the construction of the room, and everything will make sense then. You'll see the room. I'll show the drawings, how it all looks, because of what I'm doing. I'm kind of doing the big section, moving everything in there, then putting plastic across and fixing the small section, or finishing the small section. That's how it's working. They were still using those when I was an adult. That's awesome, Dave. This is, like, I don't know, out at the farm, my dad's farm, we had a rotary phone for quite a while. I think into my teens. That's also because my dad's kind of, don't want to call him cheap, but he kind of is. He can be kind of cheap. If he's watching this, he knows that he is, so I don't really care to say it. He's probably just being budget conscious of upgrading to a newer, better phone, which we got nicer phones later, but Wilmer's saying me too. That's pretty funny. Let's go into the chat room. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Yeah, that's funny stuff. Hey, Mark, good to see ya. Well, thanks, Mark, for coming on in and saying hi to everybody. I appreciate it, man. That's really cool. Wilmer Party Lines. Was that... Now, that came out... Are you talking about when that came out, like, in the 80s, 90s, when you'd have to dial a number and then say, I want to add this number and that? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about something from way back when you had operators and you'd have to put it all together? It is good to see everyone. Hey, Mark, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Just wait a couple seconds for Wilmer to get back there. So something else, when people at the same phone line, yeah, I heard it, and I remember. So Mel's mom was an operator for Bell for years and years and years, and she was telling me about that too, where like you could pick up the phone and listen to other people's conversations and stuff. Like it was, yeah, very, very interesting. Mark saying, I remember at my grandparents, you had to call the local operator and get a line out and tell everyone else to get off their line. Yeah, and the Kathy, that's Mel's mom, she was saying that too. That happened in Ontario. I think into the... I'm just guessing. I think she said like into the 70s. That still happened because she's not that old, and yeah. Ben, what is your first scene going to be on your layout that you will build first? Okay, so Nathan, since you've asked, I'm still gonna do it on a later show. What I've done, so I told you guys that the first town was going to be Terra. I've changed this up. Now, I've wanted to model this other town before, and I've kind of gone back and forth, but now that I've got more room and this and that, I'm actually going to do a town called Chesley. So they're very similar towns. They're about the same size, but Chesley had a lot more industry. So Chesley had, I believe, 3 furniture factories. It had the freight shed, it had a fuel dealership, it had 3 coal sheds, all on team tracks, right there, right up front. So really great modeling opportunities, but the actual reason for it is because I've been going through, now that I'm getting closer and closer, I've been starting to go through my rolling stock, and I've got a ton of rolling stock, and I don't have enough places for the rolling stock to go. When you really look at it, what would happen if I did Terra? You would just have a couple cars stop in Terra, and then it'd be off to Owen Sound, and everybody would be plugged up in Owen Sound. There'd be really no switching anywhere else. There is switching at the other towns, but not as much. Only 1 or 2, 3 cars. If I do Chesley, off the top of my head, there could be at least 12 cars to drop off. Just for an example. So that's what I'm doing. Is I'm changing it to Chesley. So that's the first town that's going to be modeled, Nathan. So you'll see it on the video when I upload it. It's in the main room, basically where Terra was going to be. It's on the lower level. Now, the reason why I'm doing the lower level first is because I'm not exactly sure where the helix is going to end up. Like, I could try to calculate it and be exact, but I would rather just wing it, get the helix up, and then where the helix ends, it ends where I want to be, about 15, 16 inches, I'm thinking, because then it's got to go into Y as well. The helix goes right into a Y. And there's some other really cool features one cool feature that I'm adding to the helix. So I'll talk about, that'll be a neat show too. I'll show you guys some pictures and everything, because there's some really interesting things to model on it. So anyways, Nathan, hope that answers your question. Gaffa, good to see ya. Gaffa, just wanted to say thanks to you again for what you did for Nancy with that raffle, all the work you put into that. I talked about it at the start of the show. I think that's really cool what you did. Really appreciate it, man. And I think everybody else really appreciated it. So I just threw up Nancy's PayPal again at the start of the show too, just saying, and I can even do that now. Even though raffle's over, I mean, Nancy could still use everybody's help. So that's what I was saying, Gaffa. So yeah, thanks again for doing that. So I got kind of off track there. Off track, on track. Trevor Marshall. Yeah, I put Trevor Marshall back on there because we're talking to... This guy's nuts. We're talking about the phones. Trevor went and bought an antique telegraph system and learned how to do the what do you call it, the Morse or whatever you call it, the code with the telegraph machine. So that's something I don't know if that's on his channel or not, but I think it's on his blog. So it's pretty wild because he models earlier than I do. Like he was doing like the 30s or something. And so to get your orders, you need to know how to read Morse code or whatever it's called. So that's pretty awesome that he did that. Oh my goodness. So let's put up this. So the reason I've got this new thing here, the reason for this is just because, like I said earlier, and I wanted to talk about this a little bit more, I'm not going to be doing any more of the pre-show uploads on the channel. So what I wanted to ask you guys, what I was going to ask earlier, have any of you lately lost a number of subscribers or followers? Because I think this all ties in with it, and I have a theory on it. I may be completely out there, but my thing, what I think is, so I'm gonna go back into what happened with last week. So I was on Pusa Studios, and he's saying there was a crash. YouTube totally crashed, and they don't know what to do. A stat that they came out with on that show. Now he's learning a lot of this on Twitter, and I'm not on Twitter, so yeah. So Wilmer's saying all the time. What I think is going on, and I think this has to do with you remember when we were talking about when we lost Tom Pilling and we lost Container Man because of the 1,000 subscriber thing and the cell phone thing? I think this all ties in with it. There is a problem with the server. There's too many people going on live at once. The stat I heard is 500 hours. Okay, 500 hours a minute are uploaded onto YouTube. Think about that. 500 hours per minute. Can you imagine the size of banks of data they would need to store all that, to get it uploaded? So what's happening is there's an influx, especially for some reason that night on that Tuesday, and it's happened to other people. And all along, we've all been blaming OBS, and maybe because OBS is putting more information in is part of the problem. But it wasn't. OBS was running, no problem. Everybody crashed. Apparently, a bunch of them crashed. Apparently, some of the bigger channels, if they got in early, they got in with a ton of problems, tons of lag, tons of buffering, but it screwed up. So what I think, from what I understand and what I think, so it's kind of an educated guess, I think YouTube has known about this for a while. That's the reason for the 1,000 subscriber thing. I think they're trying to purge. And what I've noticed whenever I do those videos, my subscribers drop. And with a small channel like mine, like that sucks losing people, because I don't want to lose people on my channel, right? Everybody counts to me on here. So I think that's what they're doing. I hope it doesn't get worse. And okay, so Nancy's saying, Benny, they're purging every week. And that's what I think. So like, it's upsetting, you know, like, I'm sure maybe one or two people that come in like, oh, I hate you, Ben. You suck. You're no good. I'm unsubscribing from you. You're no good. I'm sure, you know, people, but I can't see at one moment. So I'm pretty sure it's the purging thing. So that is the big reason. That's the main reason. I've thought about it for a while. I know the whole audience retention thing and all that. I'm not doing those quick little update things. So that's the schedule right there, you guys. First week is Wilmer. Second week is Tony. Third week is myself. And fourth week is Dave. Wilmer, are you laughing at my freak out? It's same with the thumbs down. Like, it's too bad with the thumbs down because I just wish I knew what it was, because I don't know if it's a troll. I don't know if it's somebody that just doesn't like me. I don't like your face, so I'm disliking you. Or do they not like the content? I don't know. That's the only thing with the thumbs down that sucks. But I mean, what can you do? It happens to everybody. You look at the big channels. I mean, look at, like, Luke Towan just did an update or a new upload. Go on there. It's got like 10,000 likes, but then 2,000 people dislike it. How could you dislike Luke Towan? Like, holy. All right, fine. So anyways, that's my little thing. That's my guess. It's purging, and it's because of just so many live streams and just so much data going on at once. Now the funny thing is, that night, because all this was going on, so someday I'll show you guys my setup here. But what I did, I just grabbed my cell phone and I just said, hey guys, sorry I can't be on right now. That uploaded quicker than any video I've ever put on from the computer, from my cell phone. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyways, it's too bad I lost the whole night. And because another thing we do is, so on these nights, because Millie watches a lot of movies and stuff on Netflix and everything, she can't watch her movies and stuff because I'm trying to keep the upload speed up and everything. And so it's too bad that happened. It was really disappointing. I was really not happy, not impressed. Jasco, that's funny. Benny rant. It's my first rant. I'm sure there'll be more rants to come in the future, but that's it. I can't even blame YouTube. You can't really blame anybody. Like, what are you to do? This is a free platform. You know what I mean? What I think would be really horrible, like, so Pusa Studios. Oh, take care, Mark. Still a little day late. Back to work. Take care, Mark. Good to see ya. Somebody like Pusa that does it for a living. I'm pretty sure that's what they do for a living. Man, that'd be horrible. Imagine that. Like, oh yeah, guess what? It's crashed. And that's one scary part. And I remember they're talking about it on Steve Brown's show. Like, I don't think as cool as it would be to monetize someday, if you're doing it for the money, I wouldn't quit your day job. That's for sure. Because first of all, apparently it doesn't make any money, and second, it could just go bye-bye. You know what I mean? Anytime. Mark's taking it. So, Nancy, when I upload videos, I do it so that people cannot see how many likes and dislikes I have, to kind of make it harder for down. That's funny. Oh, great. I have a thumbs down right now. That's awesome. Thanks, Dwight, for letting me know. So that's I think, I don't, you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. Who cares? It's not a big deal. It's too bad. It's just not good because you don't know what it is. I don't even know if it's something to improve, or if they just don't like me, or if it's just, a troll. Because if there's so, you're open to the public, and you got to remember that. Hey, it's Roy. I'm so late. To make money, you need 500,000 subs. I would think so, from what I hear. But for me, and Wilmer saying, I just want to have fun, and that's what I'm doing this for. When we were down at Steamtown, we were having a nice conversation about just why are you on YouTube, and for me, it was I basically with Creative Rails, we haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg. There's so much stuff I gotta show you guys and content. A lot of it's the automation and the JMRI stuff that I've figured out. Like tonight I just got a surround sound system in for the computer to have speakers all around for the surround sound to play on the railroad and to have like the lighting and all that. So that's why I'm on YouTube. What I found when I was looking for this stuff, I couldn't find it. That was the problem, and so that's why I decided to do it. I'm like, well, I'm gonna do it. It would be cool to have it on here. The only thing that sucks is now I'm finding out that stuff is on there, and it's always been on there, so it's a lot of it's to do with the search and how Google works, and it's, you know, as you guys know, it's really complicated. Even for my business, as you guys know, I'm a contractor. I had a website. There was absolutely no point in having the website because nobody knew it existed. And it's like, so then you get into like AdSense and all that. I'm like, oh man, I don't have time for that. I'm just at the end of the day, I'm just a simple blue collar dude. So that is that. Good night, William. Well, thanks. Hopefully we see you over at on Tony's live stream. And thanks, John. Thanks for that. So yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. That's why I came up with the phrase thinking outside of the box car, because I didn't want to get into Arduino and stuff. So a lot of the stuff, they're chips that I've been ordering from looking at from England and stuff, and you know, inexpensive is the big thing, and stuff that everybody can do is my focus. I always hated that about Model Railroader and stuff. It's like, okay, let's do this project, but first of all you need a $200 lathe, and then you're gonna need $100 for a quarter for your steam engine and a wheel puller, and this, I want to make it accessible for everybody. So that's kind of the idea behind my channel. Anyways, so guys, I'm going to leave it like that. Let's go on over to Redbird Tony. We'll see you on Crooked River and Eastern next week at, I think he's normally 7 p.m., but he might be going on 8. We'll find out. Anyways, have a great night, guys. Remember to tune in to Sparky 107 tomorrow night at the same time. That's that. And remember, Nathan's going to be going on Thursday, and then hopefully Vinny's back. I'm not sure. From the sounds of it, I don't know. But if you guys remember, Vinny's on Friday nights. And then remember, we've got Ron Toyman going as well. So guys, that's it. Thanks so much. I'm glad this went off pretty good. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you later. Happy model railroading. Stay creative.